I guess I'll go through my list here. I watched a few things this week. So AJ, I got my final reach around to completion.
All right.
Reacher
Congratulations.
season 2. Um, it was good. I got to be honest. It was one of those things where I didn't realize it was the last episode, and I was kind of surprised that like it all wrapped up and it was like a short episode too, like 40 minutes or something. I was like,
Mhm.
man, I thought there was going to be like two more episodes after, going into this
Yeah.
episode. Like I didn't think there was any way it was the last one. So it was
Yeah.
maybe a little abrupt, but it was still good. I had a lot of fun with this season, so I would totally recommend Reacher to people.
Okay.
And then also season finale of Fargo season 5. I'm happy to report it ended well. Very good season of television. Um, that show, man, you really should get into it because each season, man, is just it's hitting, man. It's great.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I've heard good things about it from everybody.
Um, Now on the not so great so my HBO subscription was running out, so I was like, I went on there just to see like, man, what do I have even time to watch on here? And so I had several of those DC like animated movies on my watch list.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I'll knock out some of these I haven't watched.
I think
So
you watched one last week too.
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to clean those up because, they're not super long.
Hmm.
So I thought, oh, okay, maybe I can watch some of these. So the first one was Legion of Superheroes. So in this one, it's a story of like when Supergirl like basically first comes to Earth. She meets Clark, and like he realizes that she needs to be trained, so he sends her to the far future and has the Legion of Superheroes train her.
Hmm.
And like I don't know, it was okay, but to be honest, this one uh, it got a little boring at parts. It got a little sleepy, and I kind of spaced out a little at points. So I can't give it a hearty recommendation. Oh, maybe only if you're like really into Supergirl or really into the Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah.
The second one I watched, and this is probably the best of these three that I watched, is called Batman: Soul of the Dragon. The
Hmm.
idea here was basically to mix Batman with like kind of like a Bruce Lee type movie.
Okay.
Um, and he ends up, you get this backstory where he like trained at this monastery with these other people.
Hmm.
And he ends up basically having to team up with them. Uh, and there's like a supernatural element too that they end up having to fight. It was okay. Again, none of these are a hearty endorsement, but of the ones I watched, that one was probably the best.
Okay.
And then the last one I watched was called Constantine House of Mystery, which is weird because this is actually a series of short stories, like four short stories. And just the first one is this Constantine story, where basically he ends up in the House of Mystery and he just keeps dying. Like, it's kind of like a Groundhog's Day thing where he keeps dying like over and over again. And he's got to like figure out what's going on.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Those are kind of fun.
yeah,
Um,
they can be. This one was mid. All of these were
okay.
mid. And then there was like I don't know if you've ever heard of Commandy, which is a, DC comic character. It's basically like the last boy on Earth. So like in the far future, like it's like a post-apocalyptic scenario where like almost everybody has died, but like I think like radiation or something is turned like animals into like animal human hybrids, and so like there's talking apes and things and all sorts of like creatures that he gets in fights with and stuff.
Okay.
Again, not a character I've ever been big into, but it was fine. I'm trying to think what else there was. Oh, there was a The Losers, which is another kind of DC property that people aren't probably super familiar with, which is basically this band of military guys, like World War II era, and they end up
Mhm.
on this island full of dinosaurs, and like it's army guys fighting dinosaurs. It was
That kind of
fine.
reminds me of the Marvel guys. who hang out with Captain America. Those they were in like the
Oh,
movies too.
right, right. Yeah, what kind of think of their names? I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
The Howling Commandos.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and even like it's funny how DC and Marvel like have they both have like these like I think in DC like this island of dinosaurs is called like um the place that time forgot or the island that time forgot or something weird like that. And then of course
Right.
Marvel has the Savage Land, which is a
Right. Oh, that's
similar
so weird. Yeah. They have
yeah,
so
yeah.
much. They steal from each other like crazy.
All the time, yeah.
Yeah.
And then lastly they had this Ted Cord Blue Beetle um one where it was made to be like a kind of Saturday morning television show from like the 70s, that kind of feel.
Okay.
Which it was a unique idea, but again, at the end of the day, all of these were just kind of mediocre to me. They were fine, but nothing that really stood out as fantastic.
Okay. You watched like three of them this week. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Nice, knocking them out.
yeah. I just kind of wanted because I went through like when I first got to HBO and I just like added a bunch of stuff to my watch list and then never ended up watching a lot of it. So I was like, well, I
Mm.
can knock these out. And then finally on Hulu, man, I got to tell you, AJ, as somebody who likes murder mysteries, I feel like ever since the success of Knives Out, like there's been a lot more of them, and I'm here for it.
All
Um,
right.
so now there's another one, Death and Other Details on Hulu.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
far, there's only 2 episodes out. I've watched both of them, and yeah, it's basically a murder mystery that takes place on a big, like, yacht or cruise ship, I guess. And Mandy Patinkin plays like this. He's kind of like the foreign like super detective, and the main woman on there like they have like this past where like when she was a girl, her mom was murdered, and like he was this famous detective that was supposed to solve the case, but he failed, he never did, and
Mhm.
now like so she kind of has like this contentious relationship with him because he never solved the case when he promised he would. But now there's this other like death on this boat, and it seems that there might be a connection between this murder and the murder of her mother. So it has that intrigue going on.
Okay.
But yeah, so far, man, I'm digging it. I'm glad that the murder mystery genre is seems to be healthy, and there's more and more of these.